All right, the blood atonement is taught by leading elders of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, October 12, 1884. This is a Mormon reprint of 1916. Right here it says 1916. And then we have 1884. This is a copy of the Mountain Meadows Massacre. Now these two are tied together, even though you'd think they weren't, since the Mormons didn't kill anyone at the Mountain Meadows. So I'm just going to use my camera here and see how this works. Do page by page so you can read that. You might keep in mind this is published the same time that a lot of Mormons are being still prosecuted for polygamy, which they also didn't practice. And I've posted legal transcript testimony showing people like George Smith were practicing polygamy in 1915. This is 1916. I also have K. Witch's Gold Mine posted. That's 1914-ish, where they're Mormon polygamy caves. It's a wild world out there. Now, innocent blood is defined in the polygamy revelation, which is again tied into this whole doctrine and the event of the Mountain Meadows Massacre. Because Parley Pratt's Mormonism gave him the right to just take that guy's wife, and then they were going to take the kids, and he disagreed. The husband disagreed. But Mormon polygamy revelation nullifies all existing non-Mormon marriages and contracts, threatens his wife with death, and it defines innocent blood. Which is why at the Mountain Meadows Massacre they had to try and save everyone under 8. It's difficult in a short video to show how blood atonement, Mountain Meadows Massacre, endowments, oaths, polygamy revelation are all tied together in this nexus. So Mormon blood atonement doctrine is so arcane. Guilt is imputed to you by your geography rather than your actual criminal acts. That's literally what happened. There isn't a scintilla of evidence that these Fancher Baker train did anything like poisoning creeks or snapping heads off of chickens. This stuff is insulting as what Brigham Young did when the children were taken back, and he insulted the children and insulted the people themselves and never went back to the Mountain Meadows and made a Freemason's right angle with his arm. And without saying a word, the entire monument was torn down. So there were no chicken snapping. Again, there isn't any physical evidence for these allegations. It's just like words in diaries, but when you read these diaries, they all use the same phrases, which is a curiosity. So you kill the innocent, which are guilty by association. Then you spread these lies about them. You steal all their property. Brand hundreds of cows with Christian crosses. You kidnap the children. You bill the United States federal government thousands of dollars for this, taking care of the kids. So what we have here is a crime perpetrated against some innocent people whose only crime was being wealthy, the wealthiest wagon train to ever travel across the U.S. This was greed. It was a very wealthy wagon train. All they had to do was arrest the suspects and prosecute them and leave everyone else alone. That's not what happened. They were carefully tracked from the time they entered the city of Salt Lake until they were murdered. Well, I found another edition of Joseph F. Smith and Richard C. Evans. This is the one I had before. So here we are in 1905, a big debate. I've already made a video about this. So it's true Mormon doctrine from the living Mormon prophet. Of course, the LDS being superior to the RLDS in all things. Joseph takes the high ground here and smacks Mr. Evans around. And there's no love lost. Evans leaves the church. Of course, the LDS being superior to the RLDS in all things. Joseph takes the high ground here and smacks Mr. Evans around. And there's no love lost. Evans leaves the church.